right? One of my favorite.
We're recording now. Sorry.
Okay, got it. One of my favorite lessons that I always come back to is this truth of who you're someday going to be, you're now becoming. No matter what, whether you like it or not, who you're someday going to be, you are now in the process of becoming. And the choices that you make are what cause the development into who you will be someday. And so I always come back to this question of when I think about who I want to be in 5 years or in 10 years, am I currently doing the things that that person to become that person would be doing? And it's a really simple yes or no question. And oftentimes we look in the mirror and the answer is no, but that's an indicator to, okay, I got to make some changes. And so with all of us on this call, earning the I Dare You jacket is simply a byproduct of making the choices that are in line with you becoming the person that you want to someday be. So that's my first point. Hit I Dare You because it's just one little thing that will happen by you making the choices that are in line with you becoming the person that you want to be someday. So it's much bigger than this honor of I Dare You. It's about you becoming the person you want to be. So second point I want to make is earning I Dare You forces you to build good habits. It forces you to build good habits. It doesn't happen by accident. One thing you can count on is when you're in the mid-year meeting and you're seeing all the I Dare You winners walk up on stage and get recognized. They're not getting recognized for anything other than, hey, those are the people that actually have good habits. Period. Those are the people that have good habits. Good study habits. They have good work habits. They have good attitude habits. And the people that are not on stage either started too late in their career and they're too new and didn't have the opportunity to win, or sorry, win. I hate that. They didn't have the opportunity to earn I Dare You, or they just simply needed to work on their habits and their habits weren't great. Now, we all have the opportunity to reinvent ourselves at any point in our career, at any point. There's people on this call right now who have reinvented themselves one time or multiple times over the course of their career. I'm one of those people. But earning I Dare You, you have to have good habits to earn it. There's simply no shortcut. So that's my second point. It forces you to build good habits. Number 3, the personal sales I Dare You recognition is actually a leadership award, whether you have a team or not. Let me break this down. So I'll say it again. The personal sales recognition of I Dare You is actually a leadership award, whether you have it or not. And here's why. Because you can't not achieve the qualifications, at least in my agency, to be a leader, which is submitting business 11 out of 13 weeks, greening out, writing an eagle, and having a $20,000 month. It's really hard to miss those requirements when you write 60,000 in premium in a quarter. So at the end of the day, there's a correlation between the people who are passionate about developing into a leader or pursuing leadership and with those who achieve I Dare You. So you become in the process of earning I Dare You an example. Whether you have people that you train and report to and develop or not, you'll be used as an example, and you're setting an example of what it takes to be successful and also to pursue growth in the career track. So in my eyes, earning I Dare You is a leadership example. I almost somewhere want to put in for our leadership requirements that you have to hit I Dare You because it allows for people to achieve the other requirements. So it really is. It is a leadership award. Okay, number 4. It's an expression of success, right? It's an outward expression of achievement, of success. So we all know the old the old common denominator of success, which states that successful people form the habit of doing things that failures don't like to do. That is just what I Dare You is, right? It's an expression of being successful. To earn I Dare You, you have to form the habit of doing things other people don't like to do. And so everybody who's up on stage, you can go, hey, those people just did the stuff other people don't like to do. Get up early, get on a routine, go out and do the system like it's taught. Go out and put the work in, period. So the award itself is simply a side effect of excellence on some level. And I keep hammering this over the last few years, but excellence is just doing what you don't feel like doing all the time. It's really all it is. That's how you get excellent at anything. You want to be an excellent guitar player, you practice guitar when you don't feel like it all the time. If you want to get in really good physical shape, you exercise when you don't feel like it all the time. If you want to be great in family heritage, you go to work when you don't feel like it all the time. That's all it is. It's really that simple. So number 5 point on why to earn I Dare You is because it's easy. It's really easy. In my opinion, the only way you don't hit it, if you've ever written an eagle before, is because you just chose not to. You just chose not to. And I'll admit, there's been years, over 18 years that I've done this, where I just chose not to. My head wasn't in the game. And so good news is we're early enough in the quarter where you can totally change course and say, you know what, I'm gonna get my head in the game and I'm gonna hit I Dare You. If you've ever written an eagle and you haven't had some extreme health issue that's preventing you from working, you're either choosing to hit it or you're choosing not to. And I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to state, like, you take emotion out of it. Every person on this meeting has the ability, has the natural talent to make I Dare You happen. It's just whether or not you choose to do it. So I want to talk about how to do it. Okay. Talk about how to do it. And this is something, some of these principles are from a book I just read called The Ideal Team Player. So if you want to take notes, The Ideal Team Player, it's an awesome book. But at the end of it, ideal team players have 3 qualities. They're humble, they're hungry, and they're smart. Humble, hungry, and smart. So this is a different spin on kind of how to do this. So hopefully this is fun. So the first one I'll talk about is being smart. People that hit I Dare You are smart people. You plan your time. Their ability to focus on the things that we know are proven that work, going back to the basics, and they make it a priority. They're smart enough to do those things. 2, they're humble. If you need to make a change, right, or you're struggling, or there's some wall, mentally or not, that's kind of holding you back from moving forward and developing and getting better, humble people they have the ability to reach out, ask for help, and look themselves in the mirror and admit to themselves, like, okay, I'm off track. I'm not going to hide it. I'm not going to be prideful and be like, I'm fine. I'm going to be like, I'm going to admit it to myself, I'm not, and I'm going to reach out for help and be like, hey, let's get this thing back on track. Third thing is they're hungry. You know, humans are hard to motivate once their needs are met. If if you haven't noticed, right? New agents come in, they're like, oh, I have this big obvious need that's impossible to get out of my mind, where I've got to meet my needs. Got to earn enough money to pay my bills and hit that initial urgent goal of meeting their needs. But once those needs are met, you've got to find a vision that is bigger than just meeting your needs. So your master plan for your business and your life should have much bigger objectives than I dare you. And I dare you should just be a short-term side effect of you doing those things to achieve your master plan, your vision, your bigger goal. Okay? Should be a side effect of something greater. So the last thing I'll say is that you don't win I dare you, right? You don't win a world championship. You don't win any competition. You have to take it. You have to take it. You do not win it. You don't get lucky. You have to take it. And that starts with that decision of saying, I'm going to take that jacket, no matter what. And notice that's the first time I've mentioned the jacket, because the truth is, it's not about the jacket. Yeah, the jacket's fun. It's neat when you get it. You're like, I got the jacket. But that jacket is just a reminder that this person knows where they're going, and they're making choices that are in line with who they want to be someday. That's all the jacket is. So people never earn I dare you because they like the jacket. They earn I dare you because they have a vision of where they want to go, and they're humble enough to say, okay, if I'm going to be the person I want to be someday, I've got to do the right things. And then I dare you takes care of itself, period. And so it's not about the jacket. That's what I got.
Wow. Mic drop, exit stage left. Guys, I asked Andy to speak specifically on I dare you and what it meant to him. And again, it's right. It's not about the jacket. It's nice. For a lot of people, it's their one and only piece of custom made clothing they have, but it's about what it represents. That's a great point. Guys, we also have a guy in front of us that has an organization that recruited more than 100 people last year. This guy's also personally sold, a couple $1 million of premium in his career. He's done a lot of things. He's reinvented himself. He's been to the edge. He's been on the ledge thinking about jumping and decided not to. And matter of fact, we were just talking about that on Tuesday, weren't we, Andy? About being in a spot 3 years ago where it's like, man, I don't know if this is like where I need to be. That's that proverbial wall that we talk about, guys. Sometimes we hit a wall in our third week, and sometimes we hit it in our 14th year. Guess what? They're out there everywhere, not only in business, but in life. But has anybody got a question for Andy, whether it be about sales, about recruiting, about mindset, about winning, about earning? Because he's a great font of knowledge. Maybe I should have asked that question before I went on my tirade there, and people could have been formulating their questions while I was talking there. But any leaders have anything that they would... Go ahead, Josiah.
And it's Josiah. Not a question, but man, just thank you for a new perspective. Just kind of the ability to look through it through a different glasses. Truly got me fired up, and thank you. I will be taking that through the next 10 plus weeks into quarter two. So thank you.
My pleasure. Just like Chick-fil-A.
So Andy, I'm going to ask you a question because I know we've got half the people that are on this Zoom right now have been here less than 6 months. Oh, go ahead. Someone's got a question. Good.
What are some things or challenges that you had in the beginning of your career, and how did you handle them?
Good question. Thanks. Let's see. Let me pick a good one or a couple. I would say, initially was just forming the right success habits in the beginning of doing 30 or more demos every week, no matter what. Because you guys, when you come into this, your habits are your habits. We're always forming habits, whether we're intentionally forming them or unintentionally forming them. Habits are being formed all the time. So it feels extremely unnatural in the beginning to be in the field 50, 45, 50 hours a week and do 30 demonstrations or more a week, because your habit is to not do it. That's your habit. So every single person that comes into the business has to form a new habit, which there's this natural, resistance to, because it's not your habit, right? You're going to feel a pull toward whatever your habit is. If you come from a desk job, you're going to feel a pull to sit in a desk for a period of time until you've done something other than sit in a desk to form a new habit. And so I think one of the challenges for me was just being like, okay, wow, I have to, in a way, just sort of suck it up and suffer through the first 2 to 3 months of forming this new habit, and realizing in the process that that's supposed to be uncomfortable. That's supposed to be uncomfortable because a new habit is being formed. So I think that's one. Another challenge I had when I was new was the year I got married. I was in my first year in the business. And so this kind of comes back to habits too, was, I had really great habits, and then we got married and went on our honeymoon and took, 3.5 weeks off. The week leading up to the wedding of the week of the wedding itself. And then we had our honeymoon for 2 weeks. And I remember being on our honeymoon and being, hey, when I get back, I'm just going to hit the ground running, no big deal. Like, I'll pick up right where I left off. And I remember being like, whoa, I didn't say in the moment, I lost my habits. I remember being like, why is this so hard just to get out there and do what I'm supposed to do? And the reason is because habits are being formed all the time, whether you like it or not. Right. So it's that. I think the second thing I'll say challenge wise is patience. And it's, I bought into the system. I understood 30 demos. Uh-oh. Am I still live?
Yeah, we lost you for a second, but you're good. Yeah, we just lost your audio again.
Hey, are we still live here, y'all?
Yes, we can hear you now. Just lost your audio.
Oh, sorry about that.
Now you're back.
This fancy car, if I don't touch a button, it just turns off eventually. So anyway, I'll just say it's habits was one, and then patience is the other. Just being patient and understanding the system doesn't work on your schedule, but you can predict. You just have to be patient with your prediction of results, and if you put in the right activity over a period of time, it always comes back around. Always comes back around. So patience and just embracing the grind that is forming new habits. It's going to be uncomfortable no matter what, and just expecting that, because in the moment sometimes you're like, why is this so hard? Then you just got to take yourself out of it and be like, okay, I can't predict who's going to buy a policy. I can't control who's going to buy a policy. I just have to go out and focus on how many presentations I'm attempting to give, how many I'm actually giving, and trying to deliver the sales talk with excellence every time. And it eventually comes around. So I think that's where a lot of new agents get hung up, is the impatience with the system, because they're used to this immediate gratification in most things. Well, hey, if I do this, this happens. Well, this kind of bucks that trend where if I do this, this will eventually happen, but it might not happen on my timeline, but it will happen. on the timeline that's supposed to happen. So kind of a broad one, but
Awesome. Thank you.
Oddly enough, Andy, that was kind of what I was going to ask you anyway. So Sierra, thank you for bringing that one up. That's a good one because we all hit walls. We all have challenges. It's just a matter of how do we respond to it? Do we draw on the right resources to help us get above, around, under, or straight through that challenge that's in front of us? For sure. Andy, thank you so much, man, for hopping on our call today and giving us some great ammunition to go out and finish this week strong, guys, because I tell you what, today matters. This week matters because we tend, as Peter used to tell Andy and I back in the day, we tend to start the next thing the way we finish the current thing. So if you want to start February sales month next Tuesday strong, the best way to do it is to leave it all out on the field today. And if need be, to get to your 10,000 and at least qualify for a bonus that gets tripled from 250 to 750 over the weekend, is leave it all out there in the field. Okay? Because I've worn this quote out, but George Halas, the late great owner and coach of the Chicago Bears, once said, no man or person or woman who ever gave their best regretted it. So guys, let's go out and have a great day today. Let's make Andy proud. Let's do something today that your future self will thank you for. And Andy, thanks again for being on. You guys have an awesome day. And